Hello there, what's the story, what's the crack, how you'll keeping? This is the PandaPuncher, yes, PandaPuncher, and welcome to Let's Play. Welcome to Hearts of Iron 4. Bit of a change from RimWorld, but during the week, Hearts of Iron 4 released its 1.5 Cornflake patch and the Waking the Tiger DLC, and I've been waiting for it for a long time, so I decided, you know what, let's have a go at it. I think, hopefully, this time round, this week we have all the audio issues sorted, so you should be able to hear the awesome soundtrack that Hearts of Iron 4 has in the background, as well as my soothing lyrical tones. Anyway, scenario-wise, we are going to choose the early scenario, starting in January 1st, 1936. And for those of you who don't know, the base game, Hearts of Iron, basically comes with all this, the standard nations based around World War II. And over time, as various DLCs have been released, all these little smaller nations that played a key part were released as well, and Waking the Tiger focuses on Asia, with reworked tech trees and stuff for some of the other nations in the game, but we're going to be ignoring all those. I have been trying to figure out for a long time what I was going to do when I first got my hands on this expansion, and the last few times I've played Hearts of Iron, I've had issues surrounding Russia, as in I seem to always get sucked into a war with Russia, and it never ends well. You'd think, being someone who has a keen interest in history, I would know that invading Russia usually doesn't go well, but you know, it happens. Anyway, so I've decided we're going to be South Africa. And South Africa's an interesting one. It was released as a featured nation, so to speak, with one of the DLCs that made all the British colonies playable and had, you know, particular focus put on them. So we do start as a Dominion of the UK. So our first step will be to get rid of that, but we'll get into that in a minute. So our leader is this guy with his mighty fine mustache. We're a democratic regime, that'll change. Apparently we won't have an election, we won't. And yeah, all this is going to change very quickly. So we'll talk about sort of direction we're going to take and what our overall objectives will be in terms of setting up some sort of empire. But for now, we're just going to keep it on historical AI focus, so I have a fair idea what's going to happen. We could take that off and shit could go down in any order. World War II could start very late. World War II could start in 1938. But now we're going to keep it historical AI focus. So, you know, Germany will do the Anschluss, occupy the Rhineland, take over Czechoslovakia, Poland, la-di-da, everyone declares war on everyone, and then a big kerfuffle. So the mic could be a little louder. Not sure that's going to be possible, but I'll take a look at that in a bit. So, yeah, let's just jump in and get started. So here we are, the mighty, proud nation of South Africa. Yeah, first order of business. We only have 2 research slots, which is a handicap, because most of the other nations either start with 3 as sort of standard, but then some of the other nations have 4, or you can very quickly get to 4 and into 5 research slots. And of course, the more stuff you can research, the quicker you get through the research 3, the quicker you get cool tech, buffs to your military, and all that lovely stuff. But we're just going to deal with what we have. So we're 2 research slots. There's a standard progression of research that most people would do or vouch for in Hearts of Iron. Basic machine tools, your first one. Second one is construction 1, and just for the sake of it, normally if there's 3, my third one is this. I didn't realise I have a 10% bonus to that. Straight off the bat, what's that coming from? Ah, okay. Commonwealth research bonus. So there is some perks to be in the Commonwealth. So, okay. The United National South African Party is the ruling party with what looks like 64%. The Communists are less than 5%. The Fascists, 20% popularity. And the African National Congress, which is non-aligned, is 11%. So we're going to try and change that up. Like, make this little red sliver slightly bigger. South Africa, and I think all the Dominion nations have this Dominion slider. So it's basically the country's opinion on whether or not to stay part of the Dominion, or the amount of support and the sort of calls for freedom and independence and all this kind of stuff. So at the minute we are towards Dominion. Our national spirits, we have a history of segregation, which means we have over half of our population is unrecruitable. So we're going to try and see if we can get rid of that. And we also have that word, which increases fascism support but impacts our factories and our dockyards, so we're not producing as much stuff. We'll get into all this stuff later. So, in terms of overall strategy, we're going to want to build some factories. So, we'll do that. And we'll just put the rest of them into military factories there. Infrastructure is pretty poor here. So we'll max that out. I don't know if that's a good strategy, but we don't have, as you can see here, if we go into production, we have one military factory and we have no dockyards. Doesn't bode well for growing your military fast or in any way effective. So yeah, we have no divisions of basic training. We have a manpower of 31,000 men available to recruit, and we have unassigned divisions. Let's fix that first. So just grab all of our armies. We have what, 6 units total. Fire them into this army, assign them a commander. We have one to choose from. General George Erwin Brink. He's actually quite good. 4 attack, 4 defense, 4 skill, and 1 supply consumption. That's not so good, because we have the joy, the honor, the awkward thing to deal with in terms of we're in Africa. For anyone who's played Hearts of Iron before, if you're any of these nations and you try to take Africa, supply is a bitch. And when you have no supply, your armies aren't as effective, they can't move as quick, they can't fight as well, and eventually they sometimes just stall out and you can do nothing at all. Simply because they get no supply, they retreat, it's not good. So, if we have our own country's infrastructure pretty well, if we conquer any territory, infrastructure is going to be key in order for it to be easily defended. And in general, we're going to have to set up our military units to take into consideration that supplies are going to be shit for the bulk of the continent. So in terms of overall goals, well, to address that, we'll go into our national focus tree. So we have quite a few different things we can do here. We could go down the line of sticking with the British and getting involved in the war that way. So if we went with support the policy of appeasement, that was basically backing up what the UK is doing, and we can just go on ahead down this line, grabbing stuff like what, basically just developing yourselves in conjunction with what the UK is doing, along with, you know, getting a few perks from Commonwealth Research and various other items. The War Measures Act, just that's a basic political power one. There's these lines that are independent from our political focuses, so we can set up defences on our coastline. I can't remember what this one does. It looks like it's focused on air. This is infantry and basic military stuff. Down here is our infrastructure and military things, so we'll probably bomb down this line at some point to grab the free military factories that we get here, and down here we'll get research slots and all that lovely stuff, which will be, it's going to be an interesting journey actually. because the overall goal of this is, one, to turn communist, and to then start taking shit over. But to do that, we need to, this will be our first one, abandon Westminster. That'll be the first decision. It's a political one. So the replacement of the Cape route by the Suez, as well as the formation experience of the Boer War, have helped create a South African identity distinct from that of our Dominion allies. We should distance ourselves from the King and forge our own path, which basically is the first thing you have to do in order to start the line towards leaving the British Commonwealth. So let's just go back in here. Now, after that, we have some interesting decisions. I already know what I'm going to do. I'm just talking it out loud. We can go down this line, which basically is aligning yourself with the right and the Nazis and the fascist ideology, basically. So, this here, support the Afrikaner Broederbond. Basically, it just increases fascism support. You have ones down here with support German coup, which is a civil war breakout between fascist nationalists in Southwest Africa and democratic unionists in the rest of the country. You've got what support the Nazification of Southwest Africa, and then you get a bunch of perks here of, like, you know, German tech and support and various pieces like that. But we're not going to go down that route. We are going to go over on the right hand tree here, but we're politically going on the left. So after banning Westminster, we'll be getting Empower the Workers. This obviously has the opposite to the support the Afrikaner one, in that it increases daily communism support in the country. It is easier to go down the fascist route because the fascists have quite a big chunk of support from the people already, and communism is pretty weak, but we're going to flip that. And I just knocked my mic over. We're going to flip that around. So, basically all of this is just various growths in communist popularity, along with a few, like, changing the national spirits. Some of these it gives some, it amends some of them, and it might get rid of a few of these as well. Now, the interesting part comes when we come to this little branch. So we can either join Comintern, which is the Soviet Union bloc, and basically then move forward with working alongside the Soviets, or we can go on an anti-colonialist crusade. So we'll be separate from Comintern, and we'll be able to start making some maneuvers within the continent. So we'll be able to demand Madagascar. We'll be able to we can create our own faction, which is actually quite powerful moving forward. We then get the possibility to liberate Portuguese colonies, which, once we go look back at the map, is quite significant. Same for liberated British colonies and Belgian colonies. So if you take those three into consideration, and we X out of this, so being able to liberate British colonies means we could take all this, this, and this. Portuguese, we get all this and this. And the Belgians, of course, is the big part with Belgium, which is basically the Congo region. And as far as I'm mind, it's got shit tons of resources. I wouldn't say shit tons. It's got rubber and some tungsten. The British colonies here is chromium and tungsten. And in these Portuguese colonies, this has some rubber there, and there's none in this one. But going down that communist route and then splitting off from the Soviet Union sort of gives us the opportunity to take over a lot of stuff here. And at the end of the day, we will get claims in Madagascar as well, which means we have war against France, which will open up the opportunity possibly for some of this, if France still exists by the time we get around to it, because at the end of the day, it's going to take a while to get there. We are a small nation, we have no manpower, we have no resources, no military factories, so it's going to be a long road, which is why I wanted to start the stream a bit earlier today, because I know it's going to be a bit of a slow start, but that's just how it is. So yeah, that'll be our plan down there. Is there any of these that removes that stupid minus 50% effect? I don't think so. Gives National Spirit Black Volunteers, which grants 1% of recruitable population. I'm pretty sure it's actually over here somewhere. I know somewhere. There you go. You can expand the Cape Core and removes the national spirit of history of segregation. So if you went down this line, you would be able to have more people to recruit. But there's another little thing that's been added in to this patch, which actually made this game quite exciting for me to want to play again. And that's a new decisions tab. Normally there was only everything from research over, but they brought in decisions, which are sort of halfway between the national focus tree we're looking at and sort of just the random events that pop up. So in here you've got various things like war propaganda. You can improve worker conditions, you can do various things against the various ideologies, you can outright ban stuff, press censorship. These are sort of standard political actions that every nation has, but some nations have unique ones. Now I chose South Africa for a couple of reasons. One, away from Russia. Two, I guess kind of like the idea of shaking off British Dominion rule and all that crap. But in this patch there's now 19 new formidable nations, and depending on who you start as, it depends on if you have the opportunity to create them. So if you start as Italy and you take over all of the former Roman territory that, you know, at the height of the Roman Empire, you can convert your country into the Roman Empire. If you're Turkey, you could become the Ottoman Empire by taking various territories and meeting certain criteria. Iran, Afghanistan, you can create the Persian Empire. There's 19 new formidable nations, the Nordic League, the Commonwealth, lots of different things. But down here we can recreate the Zimbabwean Empire. Having rid the southern parts of the continent from colonial influence, it is perhaps time to rally the people behind the concept of a powerful empire from our past. Multiple have existed in this region, and we need only a name to serve as a symbol. So we can create the Zimbabwean Empire if we are fully independent, which we will be. We control Bauschaland, Rhodesia and Mozambique, which essentially is this section here. So we will have to go to war with Portugal and the British. Do we have to have Madagascar? No. Okay. And once we do that, we'll get these things. It's a concept called cores. So if I take over all this territory, just for math's sake, say I took all of Africa, right? It's all the same colour as my country. It's not core territory. I've taken it over and I didn't have any real claim to it. So despite maybe incorporating 30 million people into my nation, not all of them are recruitable because it's not core territory. I just can't walk up and go join the army. But if you can core territory, or if you take over territory that should belong to you, then it boosts the available manpower stock you have. Or that's dumbing it down, but that's essentially how it works out. So that's what we'll be working towards. So yeah, we've got our research done. We've got our national focus set. We've laid out our plans. Plans basically is to aim for that Portugal one and take these territories because they're going to be pretty weak. So before I unpause, actually I want to just quickly go to speed 5. Excuse me. Quickly go to speed 5 because whenever I do unpause, not going to be a lot for us to do, so we want to speed through as quickly as possible. Last thing I want to do, let's take a look at our military. So, if I go into this, we are going to have massive logistic issues. And I'm not the greatest player of Hearts of Iron. I just enjoy the game a lot. So I'm going to use this live stream, this playthrough, blah blah blah, whatever you want to call it, to experiment with a few different things. So supply routes, logistics, they're all going to be issues for us in Africa. Not just for us, but for all the other nations that have African territory. So at some point I'm going to replace all those units with my own division makeup to sort of maximise both speed, because there's a lot of territory to cover, and very shit infrastructure, and sort of low manpower divisions and low logistics and supply dependent divisions, so that we can sort of have the maximum bang for our buck in terms of our resources. So we'll get around to that once I have some army experience and actually can make some changes to my division templates. In order to do that, we may as well set some... You can just start training, actually. Get these up to the regulars. And away we go. Done and done. Get out of the resource screen, back into the... Do we have any... We do have airplanes. And one of the best features in this patch is that you can now attach airplanes to armies, and they sort of just take care of themselves. Air superiority. That'll do. If there's anything I think is new to the game that maybe people who are watching, if you're watching, and have played Hearts of Iron before but haven't seen anything in the new patch, if there's new things, I'll try and mention them and go over them, but, you know, just going to play the game. Right, we have... Okay, thing I forgot to mention is we can't do any of these decisions until we have political power. Political power is just stuff that's accumulated over time through various modifiers, so our nation is 69% stable, and we're getting 4% political power growth, blah blah blah, from that. Civilian difficulty, shush. Ban on Westminster is -1, because to do one of these costs you 1 political power per day, so if you want to accrue more, you don't do anything here, etc, etc. So with this political power we can modify our laws and government, our research focus, and our military, but it's also what we use to purchase these things. So at the moment we have notification that we have decisions available. The only one we can buy is the anti-fascist raids, which costs us 50, and if we did it we would lower the daily fascism support by a bit for daily support by a bit for 120 days. Not really worth it at the minute. I already have a plan in mind for how I'm going to spend my first lump of political power. We will gain political power throughout from some of our national focuses, but yeah, we're just going to sit back and enjoy what's going to happen here. I don't know how this is going to go. I've only ever really focused on... I've done Let's Plays of Czechoslovakia, I've messed about with Italy, Sweden the other day. That was fun. I tried to recreate the Nordic League, but shit just went down far too quickly. Finland got swamped by the Soviet Union, Denmark got swamped by Germany. Couldn't do anything. What the hell just happened? The Spanish Civil War has begun. That is early, it's the 25th of February. Fuck, I mean, when you think about it, you're talking like 50 days into the game. I couldn't get the perk to, or the national focus to support Spain until, what, you take 70, each of these takes 70 days to research, by the way, or to focus on. So that's 70, 140, 210 days before I'd be able to get that. Actually, it only takes 35 days to complete. Everything else is 70. But still, so nearly 200 days, and it's already fired. So that's interesting. Not sure how that one's going to work with it firing so early. We're going communist, so we probably want Republican Spain to win. Maybe. I can't remember. So a few days we will have completed Abandoned Westminster. Done and done, and as usual, Germany has occupied the Rhineland. So now we do have our choice to go either left or right. We're going to go right, but politically left. We are a country of miners and farmers. The working people of South Africa are the only true representation of the national will. That'll modify a ban in Westminster by daily autonomy progress of 0.5, and daily communism support will increase as well. How's the research coming on? 58 days, 101 days, that's fine. 5 more points and be able to modify our government. Lovely. So most of these things down here take 150 political points to change. So we have like our conscription laws. At the minute we have only a volunteer-only army. We could disarm completely, but then why bother playing a war strategy game if you want to do that? Limited conscription, extensive conscription, service by requirement, all adults serve, and scraping the barrel. All has various modifiers and effects. Essentially, the more you go down here, the more people you have available to recruit, but that's has a negative impact in terms of obviously the number of people available to left work in your country in things like factories and building tanks and guns. Here we can change our economy essentially, so how much of the goods that we produce leave the country, and then the economy. This is the one we want. We will want this at some point. This is it's called the war economy, therefore it's good for war. And then throughout here we have just various different military high commands, naval, air force, army, theorists. So we'll probably choose the military theorist when we choose that one. Industrial concern, little things like this, industrial research time minus 10%, and it's the same in the aircraft designer, naval designer, and tank designer. I'm pretty sure we only have one. Yes, we'll only have one tank designer to choose from. Medium tank. Not going to be making medium tanks. We probably will grab the ship designer at some point because we are going to plan some naval stuff. Out of the designers though, we will choose the light aircraft designer pretty early on, simply because I'm going to be going down. If I'm to have an air force, it's going to have fighters, and I want them to be as fast and as well built as possible, so light aircraft. But first and foremost, the first step towards flipping... I can't hire this bastard yet. Can't hire him until this is done. So, in that case, I'll get Captain of Industry. I'll Nicholas Havenga. So that basically increases the speed at which our civilian factories are built, our infrastructure is built, and refineries, which we don't actually have access to build just yet. So our military is training all 6 units of them, using up resources but gaining experience, and they're all about to flip from trained to regular. And as that's happening, we are accruing army experience. Not a lot, but some. Better than nothing. And we need army experience to modify our division templates, so we will be keeping an eye on that. Production, nothing really we can do here. I can probably queue up a few things. No factories there to build them, but you know, I don't want to build light tanks. Decisions available. No, I don't want to do anything here just yet. I'm going to wait till we have Empower the Workers. I'm going to hire the communist political advisor to boost the rate at which communism is growing, and take it from there. But the Empower the Workers also helps. So, slowly but surely, we'll get there. But we are going to be sacrificing some of our progress in terms. We're going to be sacrificing some of our progress to speed up the process at which we flip to communist and independent. So we finished basic machine tools, which basically impacts how well our factories produce. Next thing we're going to research. I should let's grab that. 75 days, 10% bonus. We may as well, whilst we're still part of the Commonwealth, take advantage of the boost that we get. Because we're not going to be in the Commonwealth forever. So yeah. Empower the Workers is done. And I should pause. So I don't think we can start these yet. So need more than 10% support for the Communist Party. I think it's still around 4 before we can go on to that one. We can't do that one because the ruling party... One of them following was true. The ruling party is communist or more than 10% support for the Communist Party. So, considering we can't do anything over here because we're locked into this tree, let's take a look at this side and see what we want to grab. And it's not even a debate here. We're going to grab infrastructure and military factories and civilian factories and all that lovely stuff and get that stuff working. A couple of more points and now we can modify our government again. And we are going to grab Abraham Fisher, the communist revolutionary. So that'll increase the rate at which we're growing. It's not a great rate at the minute. Slowly though. Slowly. 5%. So for now, it is basically just keep researching and sit back and wait a little bit. Simple as it gets. I'm wondering, is the audio issues that was mentioned earlier could have something to do with game volume compared to mic, because the mic hasn't changed since the last few weeks I've been doing this. It's full on OBS and I'm pretty sure it's full on Windows as well. So let me know, and I can maybe just turn the game volume down a bit and see if that is what's causing it. So what was that? Ah, I know what it was. Italy took Ethiopia. Which the game should really change. I mean, I've played as Italy. This is a very easy war to win. But in real life, Italy fucking made a mess of that shit. Like, I mean, they really, really made a mess of it. Mussolini's a mad bastard, like. Simple as. Oh, okay. Now that we've started to focus on communism, we've now got new options available in our events and decisions. So communism on the rise. Vocal political elements. Ah, okay. Yeah, the music in the game is a bit up and down in terms of volume and it's kind of dramatic. But yeah, I might take a look at that during the break. Vocal political elements have begun to speak up in favour of communist values, finding support with an increasing number of the population. The nation's path to communism lies open, merely awaiting the choice of peaceful or violent transition. And I can tell you right now, it will be violent. I mean, I have the option to go for open political discourse. But why? Why would I do that? We're going to go down to prepare for civil war route. But let's... Oh, why can't I do that? I need more 10% support for the commies. Okay, so we got construction 1. We have that being researched. And before we move on to anything else, I'm always torn between these two. So these are mutually exclusive, so if you choose this one you can't research any of these, and vice versa. And whilst they're both concerning how your industry is being built, and there isn't massive differences, there's enough differences to make it like something worth considering. So concentrated industry essentially boils down to, if you want to describe it in layman's terms, your industry is literally concentrated. But that has a negative side effect in terms of, say if you're Italy and you have concentrated industry, you're a tiny country. So it all takes a few bombers come along and they hit you, and your industry is all concentrated, so a lot of your factories get hit hard. But the opposite side of that, dispersed industry. So for example, factory output with concentrated is increased by plus 15%, but in dispersed it's 10%. So you've got a 5% extra boost here. So you have to weigh up, you know, risking having to repair factories later on, but take advantage of the extra output, or take that hit and have your stuff dispersed. Recently I've been going dispersed. I don't know why, it's been working, so I'm going to continue doing that. And 30 days to that's done. About 40 days for that. You could do an anti-fascist raid. Do like a good anti-fascist raid. No, we will save our political points for some of this lovely stuff. Because whilst we will be sacrificing some of our direction in order to, and you can probably stop training now because you're maxed out, sir. Stop the trainings, and I want you to basically just we'll get to that in a second. For now, I just want you to garrison the country. Nothing else I want you to do. I don't want to garrison coastline or low resistance or forts or air bases. Just guard bases and victory points. I'll keep you busy. I'll stop you complaining about having no orders. Oh, we have a 10% boost to radio as well. It should be something we do, but how long? What are we like for resources? We have a shit ton of chromium. Oop, just knocked everything over. So we have a shit ton of that, and we are exporting a fair chunk of it, but we are like using 0. So we could export more. It might be worth exporting. I just noticed that my internet connection ping isn't great. That's back to green. It's fluctuating. So if there's any issues, let me know. Hopefully it doesn't drop. So if we take a look at our current economy, we have a civilian economy. No, not the economy. I want export focus puts 50% of our resources to market. I'm thinking we might do 80%. At least in the short term. It mightn't be a terrible idea of how to spend our next set of political points. This means that we have over 10% support for the commies. So we are going to prepare for a civil war. And we're going to expand civilian support and military support straight away. Use up all of our lovely XP. And don't care about that just yet. I'm going to go. I've got a plan. I don't. So, what these basically do is there's various different things you can do towards progressing towards a civil war. That's basically boost your own support so that when civil war does break out, more of the countries are ready for you, and that's everything from the citizens to the military. So expanding civil support means for 30 days straight, we've got 26 left. Daily communism support increases by 0.02, and yeah, it has various other impacts. Expanding military support has various impacts essentially on, you guessed it, military support. And once these sort of reach certain levels, we'll be able to ensure the command loyalty of the lower army and the upper army. We'll be able to formulate a surprise attack plan. We will be able to, in some regards, once we formulate the surprise attack plan, we will get the ability to start siphoning off weapons, which we're producing here. We currently have minus 632, i.e. we need 632 weapons to meet our current needs. And once we have over 1,000, so 1,001, we can sneak off 1,000 of them for our own civil war effort. And once I feel like we're in a position that, you know what, let's just get this over and done with, we'll ignite the civil war and South Africa will be split in two. We've all that to look forward to. And we've just finished the South African railways. Now, can we? We can. So it requires one of the following. So if we don't get support Spain, it doesn't matter. So we're going to go and grab that one, which was repeal the Native Representation Act, which gives us 120 political power, which I kind of want right now to speed up the whole civil war process. Gains the national spirit of black volunteers, which grants an extra percentage to the recruitable population and plus 5% to war support. and modifies that other thing by that amount. So that is essentially gets rid of this national spirit's fascism impact. So we'll still have a minus 10% factory output and a minus 10% dockyard output, but we won't have any fascism support coming from it. So that's good. So yeah, in terms of research, that's a lot. Shouldn't have. You know what? No, I can't. I don't want to recruit any people. I was contemplating recruiting more people, have more divisions out there, so the games of the... Is it the Xi Olympiad or the 11th Olympiad? It's the 11th. The 11th Olympic Games were recently held in Berlin, Germany. Attended by athletes from 49 different nations across the world. The very first nations to have enjoyed limited live television coverage. Significant propaganda victory for the Germans. The most success, blah blah blah. The games are concluded. Fine. Again, I have chosen historical AI focus. That would have happened in 1936 regardless. You can't change the game of the Olympics. But things like Germany invading the Rhineland or shit happening over here, when you don't have the AI focus on historical, things can get pretty interesting pretty quickly. So what decisions do we have available now? We have 1 and 2 days left on this. So we could fire them again, but I'm going to ensure the lower army command, their support. Certain officers in the lower echelons of the military have expressed alternative views for the country's leadership. To limit suspicion, we should limit our efforts to approaching only one potential supporter, and we should spare no resources in buying their loyalty. Quality is paramount. We should not compromise on cost, so that impacts our command power. Our political power is minus 20, and we gain, our general, actually, the only general we have, gains the hidden sympathies trait, which means he's now communist, essentially. So he'll side with us. Basically what that means. It did hit us pretty hard. I'm going to take a wee while getting back that political power, but do we get 120 with this? So that's good. Communist support is now at 17%. It might be worth hitting the Nazis and then outright banning fascism. And we can't head up the civil war until we have less than 50% stability, so we shouldn't worry too much about actually impacting our country's stability at the minute. We're looking to do a civil war. Stability's really not on our agenda right now. Like, far from it. Opposite of what we want. We want shit being stirred. So let's do anti-fascist raids. Stop them from growing. I know it used up a bunch of our power, but there was stuff we generated, and we've got 120 coming in. So we have completed the Repeal the National Representation Act. So to get this, we need more than 35% support for the commies, and autonomy progress has to be over 70%. Or South Africa is fully independent. So we would get another boost of 120 political power, a change of popularity for communists of 50%. But we can't get that yet, so screw it. We could go for equal opportunity employment. So we gain the national spirit equal opportunities, which grants factory output plus 5% and dockyard output plus 5%, and removes that national spirit that's given us minus 10 to both of those. Or we get civilian factories or minus 50% research time. So if we go civilian factories, 3 infrastructure, military factories. And then we can focus on getting towards those. Because I would rather get this one first. So let's go for that. Now we have a bunch off. We don't have any off the weapons to siphon yet. So we have 144. I am going to expand civilian, military, and formulate surprise plan. We can now ignite the civil war because we're less than 50% stability. But I want the communists to be a wee bit stronger before going ahead with that. Just makes sense, really. And I'm hoping then, with the civil war and whatever we have to deal with it, that we get a bit of army experience to start creating a few of our own custom templates to deal with the unique challenges that fighting in Africa presents us. And my headset just went off slightly. It has sometimes got connection issues, so if there was a... And I have the stream audio connected to it, so if there was a little bit of no music there, I apologise. See, we can't siphon equipment until we have equipment to siphon. And unfortunately, we only have the one factory. And it's focused on... Well, it's doing what it needs to do. We're getting 8.5 rifles a day. But anyway... So what do we do? What is our communist support? Like 24%. I'd like to be over 30% before we go crazy. Are we researching? 2 days until dispersed industry is complete, which is good. We have 50% bonus to that. Do any other major bonuses that we want to take advantage of early? Well, considering we're in the desert, we are probably going to want maintenance companies for if we have motorized battalions. We're going to want a field hospital basically because we don't have that much manpower and we want to keep the men we have alive. Makes sense. We're going to want a logistics company because it just makes sense in terms of, and if we shift click to take a look here, having specialized logistic officers among our ranks will ensure that support networks are leveraged to minimize waste. So i.e. our supports or supplies get used better. It's as simple as that. And then we get a signal company. I can't remember why I'd want that, but we do have various shit ton of things to grab. We will probably want mountaineer units at some point because a lot of Africa is mountainous. But I think let's grab the Vickers 1. Let's get ourselves some machine guns. And yes, we're on pause. We're about to enter 1937. How did the Spanish Civil War go? Nationalist Spain is winning that one. That's not good. Expand the mining industry is complete. We could go for... it requires heavy engineering. Oh, it requires one. So we could just bait on through and... one time 50% research bonus for industry. And in terms of industry, what do we want? Ooh, we have that already. Huh. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. We shall go for heavy engineering. What's the support like? Over 25%. So if we actually ban fascism, that should change things quite a bit. There we go. I mean, it gives some support to the Democrats as well, but I'll get it. It's alright. And we are more than halfway towards the country wanting to be free. So that's all good. So yeah, other than not being able to siphon any equipment because, you know, no equipment, we could ignite the Civil War. Do I wait? Or do I do it now? Decisions. Thinking we wait till we can siphon one thing of surplus infantry equipment. and then we go. No point waiting about. Communism hasn't got time for this shit. Like, I've got plans. These plans involve more than sitting about twiddling thumbs, thinking, you know what? Should we go for civil war? I don't know. Yes, we should. But we want some weapons. Right. Let's siphon equipment. That's that done. Ignite civil war. Message from South Africa. They have changed their diplomatic status with you to declare war. It's okay. So, we are Cape Commune. And we are at war with South Africa. We have four mighty units. You are just going to delete all orders. So no more garrisoning. So your 4 units, I'm assuming they have 2. And we are going to get you to beeline for Cape Town. I'm going to lower speed here to 3. You are going to beeline for here and then up there. Yous are going to shift, click over here, and then come down. And that should be okay. There are probably going to be a few British troops. I'm hoping no British troops from here will decide to get involved, because that would be annoying. Are you doing what? Yes, you are moving. It just takes a long time to move. So we've got a nice hammer and sickle on our flag. Our name's changed. I always vote for name changes in this game. Why not? It's why I always became fascist as Czechoslovakia, because we became the Bohemian Empire. It's just a far better name than Czechoslovakia. No offense to people who were proud of the Czechoslovakian name. I don't know. Quiet. Capture this airfield to be good. We captured this naval base. We want to get Cape Town as quickly as possible. We are in combat with 1 division, so we should beat that back pretty easily. Then saying that, shit could go down. And we are... I want you to change your plans to attack Cape Town. Actually, we want you to come to here and attack Cape Town from there instead of the river crossing, which just, isn't a good idea. Bit of a stalemate. We do have air, don't we? Yeah, we do. We still attach them. Interception as well. No retreat. Day and night missions. I think you know the country pretty well. And of course they would have to get supported by British troops. That is just great. We're going to want to do that one now to gain communist support. So we've got British troops have backed those ones up. And you aren't doing anything. So let's change things up a bit. Let's get a front line there. I don't want a front line against it. Where are you going to invade from? Nowhere. You're not going to invade. That's good. That's good. Let's edit. Let's drag this all the way down to... Really? I want to... Can I not drag it any further than that? Really, it has to go there. What then? Fair enough. Let's give an offensive line off here. And I want you to attack. You know what? Let's actually extend that back up. Yeah. Attack. Let's just get some sort of direction and focus on this. Click to activate the plan. Estimated plan value minus 70%. That's always good. Why aren't you moving? Oh, it just takes so long. I forgot how terrible the terrain is in this lovely part of the world. We are slowly but surely winning this battle. And to be honest, I kind of have a feeling I know how this goes. So, speed 5. Just due to the length, the amount of territory we have to cover. It's crazy. So we're about to win this one. Push these forces back towards Cape Town. You continue pushing, please. Get surround on these guys. You know what? Don't do that. Come down here. Circle. Ah, no, they moved into that region. Why don't you see it? Both focus on that. As soon as we deal with these two... Are we going to win that one? We do have a river crossing. I mean, I like the fact that they're not being supported by the British right now. That was a mistake researching that one so early. But let's actually take advantage of something else right now. And grab... Let's get the extra construction speed. 8 days to have machine guns, which is always good. Machine guns are fun. Should we just win that one already? Details. Yep, we've got that. Not ready for that yet. Let's go for... that. See if we can get the... Just... Well, we have the advantage. We have the research buff there. So we may as well. Right. Do you want to do that? No, I want you to come down to there and you stay there. Just for now. If we can get Cape Town taken with a three-pronged attack before hopefully the British get any more people in, then that'd be great. Where are you going, you sneaky bastard? That is inconvenient. The last thing we want is to be encircled. Oh my god. Why is there so many British people? No comment. That's fine. Take the fucking thing already. Do not want these people engaging us. We need this done as soon as possible. Because the longer this takes, the more chance there is of more British people coming into it. If we take Cape Town, destroy the remaining forces, and that should be enough to make South Africa capitulate. And lovely. Lovely. I want a new offensive line off up here. And I want you to execute that plan now. Should be good enough. Come on. Right, construction 1. We're just going to keep continuing with... you know what? We're going to grab... should have grabbed that motorized a bit earlier. Do we have a land doctrine? We are sewn into the Grand Battle Plan doctrine. So the more planning, the better. Max planning 10%. Don't care for that, to be honest. I'm going to want that at some point, but not right now. We'll take the extra research speed due to the fact that we have no research available. And we shall take industrial research concern. Because why not? I haven't been spending my points, so that's been a bit of a mistake on my part. Let's take a look at army regrouping. Don't have enough political power for anything else. Don't have a national focus, so let's grab... not joining the Comintern. we're going to focus on infrastructure now because we have been sacrificing that side of things. We do have 3 dockyards. That is going to cause us issues in terms of supplies because we don't have any fucking oil. If we construct, we can build some refineries. Let's do that. Excavation 1 is complete. Shit is happening fast. It's freaking me out. Right, can we, you know, what is going on down here? Can you, like, please do as you're told? You know what? Yeah, you're doing that. Fair enough. Speed 4. So I don't like that these... Is it a bug? No. So if I shift... Is it... It's control and click to assign units to this order. Three divisions. So why not all divisions? Why aren't you... Go in there and then attack from there? Oh, it takes... And I'm paused as well, which doesn't help. I'm going to take a break in 5 minutes because I have been on for just about an hour. And you'd like to take a break at the usually the halfway mark. I am streaming slightly earlier today. The Treaty of Windhoek. So we took 2 states. South Africa has been annexed, and 128 equipment was seized. It's because we stole all their guns before we started the Civil War. And the Brits are in our territory. They will leave. Or else we can delete that. So you have no orders now. I'm going to get used to back to garrisoning, and you just need to do those again. And we have 70,000 people to potentially recruit from. Logistics wise, we don't have a lot of equipment, but we need military factories for that, which we should be in the process of constructing. So we've got 2 more civilian factories, and yeah, okay. We could build another military factory there. And once the infrastructure is improved, more research, more whatnot, we should be able to squeeze in a few more factories. But yeah, before I jump off for a break, I am going to take a look at potentially editing one of these divisions. So if I remove, I'm not going to have enough, I'm just going to so what I do want, hold on a second, yes, cavalry was what I will want. That is what I'm going to have as a base unit. Combat width is only 8, but in terms of manpower it's only 4,000. And supply use 0.48. Now if you take that in consideration of just this one, its supply use is manpower 6,000, so you save 2,000, plus you're more maneuverable. Still think it's going to be the way to go, and eventually at some point what we're going to do is, if we edit this armored division, we're probably going to go with, if we remove that, and add in, it'll be 1 light tank and 2, we don't have the research yet, but 2 mobile divisions with probably a maintenance company or something like that. But yeah, in terms of national decisions, what do we have now? Just back to the standard. We still have the option to create the Zimbabwean Empire, and we shall continue our journey once I'm back after this short break. So back in a minute, folks. And back. So, we've just implemented our communist revolution, and we are now in control of Cape Commune. Focusing on infrastructure, so our national spirits, we still have the history of segregation, which means over half of our population is not recruitable. So, for math's sake, let's just say we should have manpower of 150,000. Or right around that. We have a ban in Westminster, daily autonomy progress gain 0.1, democracy support on the decline, communism on the up. But we have 100% communist popularity, so, you know, we don't have anything to worry about there. War support isn't great. National stability isn't great. And, yeah, we have black volunteers, so war support, that's getting a bit of a boost from that. On a recruitable population, slight increase. So, what next? Well, we do have insufficient resources because we're making some convoys with the port that we got. We are not using any of our chromium. We're using 2 oil, but we do have some synthetic factories in the making, so should be able to be grand with that. So, I don't know, we are going to start focusing on military stuff, along with going down this line, in conjunction with going down this line. We're not going to join the Comintern. We are going to go down the right-hand side of this, so we get war goals on various colonial territories. Better hope France doesn't turn communist. But by the time we get to that, I'm hoping France won't exist. We'll want that one quick. Don't press buttons, you idiot. We will want that one soon enough, but it isn't required to go down ahead down here. So this one here basically gives us plus 10% to our war support. Cape Commune leaves the Allies, gains anti-colonialist crusaders, and Great Britain gains anti-colonialist crusaders. And then we're fully on our own, and all the other countries around me hate me, which I'm perfectly okay with, to be honest. We do have the short-term goal of recreating the Zimbabwean Empire, which means taking this fucking land off these people anyway. And yeah, I don't know what the overall goal. I'm pretty sure I want to take the continent. I want my name to span this entire region. In terms of outside of that, it really depends on how the war goes and how our nation develops as we progress up through here, because unlike conquering swathes of territory in Europe, we're not going to get a heap of military and civilian factories here. We're never going to have a massive manpower resource pool, so I don't know how it's going to go. But time will tell. That's the fun part of trying something different. I haven't been these guys before, other than a quick little playthrough last night whilst I played about 15 different 30-minute games of Hearts of Iron, just sort of feeling out the initial stages of a few different countries before settling on South Africa and going communist. So what decisions do we have now? Improve worker conditions. So we'll get weekly stability increase for 180 days. Consumer goods factories 5%, but factory output minus 10. I want to save up the... let's take a look at our military. They can't really do any training. I really need army experience. So probably Amelia Earhart has disappeared. Such a shame. Is there anybody here that gives me a tick of oh, okay. Japan has declared war on that place, and the Soviet Union is in the middle of its purges. So there's nobody here that gives me a rolling tick of army experience. That was a lot of beeps. Japan declared war on China. Lots of shit going on. So it's a pile of people joining the faction, the Chinese United Front. So that's basically all the sort of little nations here that you can play. China, Communist China, these ones, Xinjiang, blah blah blah, all sort of joining in sort of an alliance, or essentially their version of the Allies against Japanese aggression. So that's what all those pop-ups are in relation to. We can now modify our government. So if we do military theorist, there we go. Army experience gain of 0.05 daily, which again I'll take. It's good. So we've got the infrastructure effort. Let's grab. So do you want to go steel? So actually, let's just take a look at what comes next. We're going to have to get either one of these two in order to get the extra research slot, which I think is something we should beeline towards now. So we're going to ignore everything else and get to this research slot. So let's just see if we can go. Do we take everything on the path to it, or do we take the quickest route possible? So with armament effort, we get 2 military factories. This one we get 16 steel production. Expanded brand mines means we gain national spirit of gold exports, which grants consumer goods factories minus 5%, which means something, I can't remember. And this one adds another 2 military factories. So the quickest route would be this, and this. Because if we go down this line, this one here requires all of the following: armament effort and South African steel. And then we can go there. But it kind of makes sense to have both of these anyway. Because with more military factories, obviously comes more military production, but with more military production becomes increased resource consumption. So we get our military factories first of all. And yeah, I hate that this thing won't disappear. Pretty sure there's a way to make it disappear. So the Brits are lining up along our border. Oh, end of the Spanish Civil War. With the surrender of the last Republican strongholds, the Spanish force come to an end, and nationalists stand victorious, and a new era has begun for Spain. So, like in World War II, the fascists came out victorious. It's definitely going to be a tricky one. But liberating Portuguese colonies is going to be our first aggressive objective. Because Portugal's not a big nation. Even though it's not actually focused on any war with anyone else, because it doesn't go to war with Spain. It's not going to have a lot of resources. I'm pretty sure we could take all of this territory before any sort of major defense is actually mounted against us. So yeah, up to 14. It's slow progress, but it's progress. And once again, my bitrate connection jobber on the old OBS is showing not the color green, this color. So apologies if there's any sort of connection issues, but there's not really a lot I can do about it. The internet is what it is. If it's having a little freak out, then it's entitled to. I can alter government. Is there any decision I want to take? No. So we want an army chief. So we want division speed. Definitely. In Africa, we definitely want speed. So the armament effort is complete. We're going to grab South African steel. We do not have military factories. I want, yeah. 2 on small arms. No template for support equipment. Interesting. We'll work on that. Command power is essentially things that we can spend on. This general has several traits. So he has. Let's grab the next. What year are we in? We are in 37. Let's grab machine tools. So, Earl George Edwin Brink has a couple of traits here. He has hidden sympathies, which means he was allied with us, and he's Desert Fox. So in the desert, he has anybody under his command has +5 movement, +10% attack, and +10% defense. But with those, you know, you can spend your points on, say, hiring new generals or assigning new traits, upgrading them, things like that. So this is a pretty powerful mechanic, and it is new in the most recent patch. And it's the thing I love about the whole way Hearts of Iron is developed. Everything was being geared towards this new DLC, Waking the Tiger, which brought massive focus into the Asian countries and tweaked some things like in the German focus tree. So when I say focus tree, I mean this thing where you sort of decide the shape and the direction of the country. You can now depose Hitler, impose democracy, bring back the Kaiser, various little things like that now in Germany. Countries that aren't focused on, like that didn't have a flag basically in the main menu, things like, I don't know, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Afghanistan, they have a standard focus tree. It's the same for all nations. And that's the way these ones used to be, but now they have unique focus trees with unique decisions and paths and various different little mechanics and quirks that come out of that. So that's what the DLC was about. But alongside every DLC, they bring out a patch for free, which brings in all these new mechanics. So all these decisions, the command, power, and all the little subtle changes, like, that's there for people who have the box standard game. I just think that's a nice way of developing. So that you don't feel like, you know, if you aren't a person that wants to spend extra money in a DLC, that you aren't missing out. At the end of the day, you can still play as these nations, you just won't have the unique focus trees, but you'll have all the new game mechanics that everyone else has as well. So you're not left behind. I just think that's nice. So no template, decisions available, insufficient resources. Okay. How are we on research? Italy announces claims in Yugoslavian territory. World tension is at 19%. And we're just about to hit 38. So things are on course for war to break out. And we are still lagging behind quite a bit. But we really need that 3rd research slot. I mean, as soon as possible. I'm pretty sure if we do this one, we get the extra research slot. If we do this one, we get research for nuclear technology. This one gets another research slot and another research slot. So we could end up with 5. But once we get the 3rd one, I think we're then going to start focusing on at least getting down to anti-colonialist crusade, and then maybe some stuff on the military front. You know, this is a 50% research for land doctrine, army experience +10. That's good. That's good. Let's get another 2 military factories. Why can't I speak? So, be able to change national focus. Not national focus, but some of our laws and shit. Sorry about that. So, we could go to limited conscription. Volunteer only means we only have access to 1.5% of our population. That's all we have that's recruitable, and that's giving us the 79,000. We double that essentially. Just less than double. By limited conscription. Extensive conscription is an even bigger boost. And it's not like you get this all at once. It just, if we hover over this, so It's a tick. Monthly growth. So if we improve this, we don't just get double the available manpower. It just means it'll start to grow up until we reach that point. That's if we are using it up by throwing soldiers into war. I'm thinking maybe a change in this. I'm going to go free trade. Not a very communist thing to do, yes, but I think in the short term, free trade is the way to go because we aren't using up all of the stuff that we actually produce. And it'll bring us some short-term benefits in terms of bringing in... Essentially the way trade works in this is hold on, mechanical computing. We'll do this first before we talk about how the trade works. It is 38. The cusp of 38, so it's a day away. What do we want to focus on? I am thinking we grab motorized so that we can then grab field hospital and logistics companies because those are sorry, nose is a bit itchy. Those are two things we're going to want to attach to basically every battalion we have due to the... Basically, that's what you want to attach to your companies anyway. So, shush. Light armor. We do have a Vickers 2, which is a 1934 tank. It's not ridiculously out of date, but it's still not great. And in terms of tank development, if you were keen to see some heavy and medium tanks being developed, then you're shit out of luck. I'm in the desert. I'm always going to be in a desert. So light tanks it is. Speed is key, to coin a phrase. Yeah, we really need that third research slot into Filkai. Like, really need it. We've got 19... Oh, we do have some equipment coming through. We have nearly 3k in spare rifles. So it's nearly time to consider... No, don't train, you idiot. Edit. So if I pause a second, just to take a wee look at things here. See, it adds to add any of this to... I don't care about any of these at the minute. I mean, we are going to want engineer companies if once we start attacking because they help with river crossings and various things like that. What's this one? This is just 3 wide. Combat width of 6. That's shocking. But supply use of 0.21. If we added in support artillery, don't know why I would. But it might make sense to train a few of these. Let's see what we can get away with. Once supplies start to drop. There we go. So this green bar basically means do you have the equipment and the supplies to create this unit. And we do up until this one. So we'll cut that back. Set a location for these guys to be deployed. Be here. There's an army for them to join. This one. And we shall start recruiting people. It's not the division template I want, but in terms of where we are, it would make sense to have smaller military units. I do want to go with the 2x2 cavalry for a good chunk of my army. One that does use up less manpower than the 4x4 infantry, and it's quicker. Not as quick as motorized, but see, once you start hitting the jungles and mountains, motorized it's not really much better than infantry anyway, because everything just grinds to a halt. You might want to add a recon to some unit. Indian National Congress triumphs in provincial elections. overwhelming victory for the platform. Pace the Indians have rejected the more radical policies advocated by Gandhi, who advocated for total break with Britain. And solution of Austria. Ooh, okay. Europe's heating up. So the German Reich now has swallowed Austria. That is probably going to quickly transition into them swallowing the Sudetenland, which is this region here around the outskirts of Prague, and then taking Czechoslovakia, and then they'll turn their eyes towards Poland. So everything's on track, and to be honest, whilst we're not in the best position economically, industrially, all that other stuff to be waging massive warfare, it could be worse. I think in terms of how we're progressing and when we will be in a position to actually make some big moves in comparison to when the Allies will be impacted most by World War II, we're not too far off them aligning pretty nicely. So we are going to want to grab these at some point. So this will increase the output by synthetic refineries in oil and rubber. We are going to start using them quite heavily, and I don't want to sacrifice my limited number of civilian factories to import any goods. We're also going to want that as well. Since we only have 2 research slots, and it is 1938, yeah, let's do that. Minus 3% of research time will help us in the long run. Construction-wise, we are onto military factories, which we'll build in 3. Is that really what we should be doing right now? It's hard to know. So we've done the Pretoria Arms. We'll come back to that one, but we're going to grab the extra research slot now. And we have 3 military factories. Hey, look at that. So we are going to want 1 there, 1 there. Done. So with that in mind, if I went and let's only create 1 more for now. And infrastructure, we'll see how quickly that takes. If I wanted to build civilian factories, I could. Yeah, let's do that. And then grab an extra 1 of those. And a military factory. Let's actually just not go ahead with the military factory straight away. We'll let what we have queued up get done, and then we'll revisit. So what do we want to do next? Does anybody want to grab here? So political power gain plus 5% isn't bad. Sign a workhouse 15%, that's even better. Or do we want to grab... There's nobody there really worth... Artillery, infantry, equipment designer. So weapons and equipment research time minus 10%. Or we go to motorized research time minus 10%. We'll go small arms because we are going to be infantry focused. And maybe grab the other guy next time round. So these divisions could be deployed right now, but this is their training meter. So they auto-deploy when they've reached max training, so they don't enter the field green. They enter the field as trained. But that... If we were under attack and we needed bodies and boots on the ground, ASAP, I would deploy them earlier. But at the moment, we're just training people. So it doesn't make sense to fire them out just yet. We'll let them finish their training. Yeah, we don't care about any of that right now. Give me the 3rd research slot. And our units just got done. That looks a lot better. So, for now, actually, I want the original 4 to split off into a different army. Yous can start to train. So you can become regulars. And you can get a new commander. New commander, Signer DeQuence, maybe. One across the board. He's pretty crap, but it's better to have someone now that if we do enter any early combat, at least he has decent troops under his belt with a bit of experience. And in terms of orders, they are automatically going to, I say, line up here. So you're going to get a front line of there with an offensive line to at least this river. And then we'll regroup after that. Yeah, so you can start planning for that. And I say that might be all we need over there, but I would like... So we have a total of what? We'll have a few more units in, hopefully with a few perks. So give it time and we shall have shit. So it is 38. It's probably worthwhile grabbing that. We don't have a national focus. Don't care about nuclear shit. If we do the equal opportunities, that's factory output plus 5%. That might be worthwhile. If we do that, then we could grab that. Ooh, where do we do this? Infantry weapons. So we do that one. If I go back into research, 19 days. Yeah, okay. It's okay. This'll work. This'll work. He says, full of confidence. I know what I'm doing. Don't you dare doubt me. Ah, the music in this game is amazing. Even when you're not really doing anything that intense, it still feels dramatic, which, you know, it's good. It's good. You know what? Okay, motorized is done. We can gain another perk here. Don't care about any of those. What's screen? Screen attack, screen defense. Eh. Medium tank designer. What would be the point, like? Let's go to early mobilization. Got a research slot available. So we're going to wait till we get the other perk, but we're going to grab logistics. Normally we'd go for field hospital first, but I'm going to go logistics first. And in terms of division templates, let's edit that and let's add in a recon company and save. And all those guys will now get upgraded recon companies, and we can see what is in front of us. So we have... They're basically made up of 2 units of infantry. Aha, okay. I can get on board with that. Why is there still a British unit down here? Get out of my country. No divisions basic training. Decisions available. Not what we want to do. We are a bit short on resources. Probably need to cut back on how much we're exporting. But at the moment it's probably not hurting us too much because you know what, you can just do that. We're only stockpiling artillery at the minute because we don't actually have any templates with artillery in it. So you know what, let's cut that down to 1 factory. Nanjing has fallen. Do we want to just go with more? What else can we create? We can start motorized. We could get light tanks. Could add some planes. I don't think that's a good idea. It's not a terrible idea, but I don't think it's what we need. No, we're going to go with motorized. Motorized makes sense. Special Service Battalions has been done. So let's get the 50% bonus on infantry weapons. Oh, I feel so much better having 3 research fucking slots. It's just... I feel as though you can actually make some progress. How are these guys coming along? Just 1 unit left. You can stop. And to be fair, I'm going to get you to... That's fine, you can delete those orders. Front line yourself there with an offensive line there. Do you want to balance it out actually? Let's take... So if I take 2, that'll be 6 and a 7. No, you can have just 1. Okay, ammunition is done. You can modify government as well. I probably want to grab... Don't want to be volunteered only for too long. We want to go to... Export focus. Back to export focus. So we keep some more of our resources. Technology to research. We're going to wait for this to be done before we do any more infantry. So we get a bonus. So let's see. Do we want... We'll get field hospital now as well. We are slowly edging towards war. And to be fair, actually, we can... Division designer... This is not garrison forces. I'm going to be a cavalry division. Create empty. Cavalry divisions. Mobile battalions, cavalry. No, wrong one. Cavalry. And probably give you recon. Let's see how many we can train. Okay. Done and done. Let's set a location of here. Get back to playing the game. So shit is going down in Asia, basically is what that pop-up was about. Let's get encryption first, and then I'm going to want the radio shit as well. Army experience plus 10 might be worthwhile as well. Support artillery, support technology, infantry weapons, and this one here. Whoa, 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 whoa! Calm down, game. I mean, the Munich Agreement. Germany demands the Sudeten territory. France is bitten. Britain announced alliance. So we're slowly making our way towards war. Hungary renounces Treaty of Trianon. Trianon? Shut up. How close are we to be done that? Any research finishing soon? No. Both these plans are apparently good plans. I'm gonna sneak a wee drink here. So yeah. We are on the cusp of war with Portugal. That is basically what's happening. Approve the 303. Let's go anti-colonialist. How's our recruitment coming along? Fine. If I want to edit, can I just change your logo to something better? Unicorn logo. No. No. I'm aiming this no at a certain person. It's not going to be a unicorn. Makes sense to keep it a horse, because then I know what it is. But I'm just thinking, is there a more relevant tortoise? Let's go for... Let's go for... We are actually still playing. Let's go for maybe that one? Nah. Cancel that shit. Right, we've got logistics company. What do we want next? Do we have the infantry equipment? 41 days. Or 26 days. This one, I'm just grabbing it. It makes sense to me. So anything we want to sign a workhouse pretty, we're going to grab him. Ooh, excuse me. I'm looking forward to this. We might be communists, but we're going to be virtuous communists and free the oppressed peoples of Africa from their colonial overlords. Yeah, that was a mouthful. So we'll grab that one, and then we'll grab the radio technology. And then we'll be able to... I'm going to need some fucking boats. If I'm going to take this. That's decisions. None that I want to take. You're close to this. Research is done on that. Don't need maintenance, to be fair. Do you want to take a land doctrine? Oh, 50% bonus. Let's grab that before we go into combat. For those who don't know, and it makes sense for me to take a look at it as well. Basically, in each part of your military you have certain doctrines. So your infantry, you have land doctrines, navy, naval doctrines, air doctrines. Okay, makes sense. Now, you can only choose one of each of the doctrines that are available, and that'll determine your overall sort of direction and vision for that particular part of your army. So mobile warfare doctrine for the land is, as you would guess, geared towards sort of like blitzkrieg type warfare, where you do shit fast and quick. Superior firepower is all about artillery and bombarding people. Grand battle plan is about planning and maximizing your, preparing for battle. And mass assault is basically, we have a fuck ton of men, but not a lot of skill or weapons, so let's just, swarm. That's basically each of the doctrines dumbed down. We started with grand battle plan, so we're going to continue with that. So we started with trench warfare, so max entrenchment is 10. So whenever we sort of hunker down and stay in the one spot along a front line, our guys dig in, get an entrenchment bonus, so it's harder for an opposing force to attack that. And plus we get a 25% speed boost to actually entrenching ourselves, because it takes time. The grand battle plan is gives us max planning 10%. Followed by prepared defense, so our defense gets plus 10, organization plus 10. Then we will get grand assault, so our breakthrough and soft attack for our army will improve. And then we can choose one of these two branches, because they are mutually exclusive. You can go down the assault branch or the infiltration branch. I've never gone down this particular doctrine before, so this is new shit to me. I normally go for one of these two, because I'm normally a nation where these two make a lot of sense. So infiltration, leg infantry, breakthrough increased, and organization increased, armoured operations, improves our organization recovery rate, supply consumption minus 10%, that's good. Land night attack plus 25, organization, and reconnaissance is increased and reinforcement rates increased. But with assault, Motorized and mechanized infantry organizations are increased. We don't have any divisions utilizing those yet. Overwhelming fire, max planning, infantry and motorized organization, breakthrough, max planning, and I think I'm going to go down the infiltration route once I get down to this particular point, which is quite interesting. Naval doctrine, it would help if I had a navy. I have class 1 destroyer unlocked, and that is it. I'm going to want to get this fighter at some point. That's all I have on that one. If I get round to doing air doctrine stuff, it is going to be late game. That's as simple as that gets. So if I still have research I can do? No. So I'm just talking shite there for 10 minutes. They're close to being done. Production, we're not using all of our naval dockyards, but we're just not right now. Infrastructure is coming along nicely. So if I went to build stuff... Okay. Anti-colonialist crusade. Anytime I go to say that word slow, I just lose the ability to say it. So essentially, colonialism sits at the heart of the imperialist system that oppresses the workers of the world. We are in a unique position to smash that system and free the African people from centuries of exploitation that they've had to endure. And fucking right we are. It's got nothing to do with the fact we want to take over the continent and oppress them ourselves. Nothing to do with that. So let's create our own faction, the Union of African People. Because why not? And plus we needed to get the whole colonial war goal on the Portuguese. And I think the Portuguese could give us a bit of bother in terms of making this more difficult than it needs to be. I just have that feeling. I don't know how to split up the units that we're creating. Yugoslavia claims Bulgaria. World tension is 26%. Romania's gone fascist, I'm pretty sure. What is that? Deploy units. Okay. Oh, they didn't have a location set. There. Okay, now we have 7 units here. Let's split in half. We've got 4. They can join this guy. And the other 3, they can join this guy. So I definitely think we're in a good position to expel the Portuguese from this area. If she's getting that one. We've only 17k left, and we're going to keep them, that manpower hanging back for whenever we actually do enter the war. And we want to replenish some of our units. If needs be, we can increase to probably even extensive conscription if we actually had the political power for it. So if there isn't anything... Huh. That one mightn't be a terrible idea. No, we won't change that yet. No point grabbing any of these guys. That's bad weather panel. That's for the air. Armor, naval, screens, no. There's actually nobody that we... I did say light aircraft. Let's go for limited conscription. So this will slowly tick up now. Pretty sure. Are you going to tick up? I'm pretty sure it will. We've literally enacted a law that says more people are recruitable. So therefore they're going to be recruitable. So what year are we? We are in January 39. These are all 39 techs, so it might be worthwhile grabbing... I'm thinking definitely logistics 2. Because that just makes sense. And in terms of the... If we go to this one... You check this guy. They are district brigades. Some cavalry template 1. All district brigades. You are district force. Some district force. I could convert all these to these units. But I won't. I won't. I just want to go to war. That's so hard to ask. Grand battle plan is finished. We don't have a bonus on it, so we're not going to jump until it. We are 39, so we can get the next set of this stuff, but I'm thinking it might be worthwhile grabbing. What are we really short on? Need 2 oil, 1 rubber. Unless we go for the rubber first. The German Reich claims Memel. And we will soon be claiming Portuguese colonial territories. I mean, I would be looking... And we got 38,000 available now. That's good. That is good. I do want to be creating some naval presence. I do want to be reinforcing our air force, but we're really not in a position to do that right now. If we take at least this Portuguese territory, if we go to resource... Hold on a second. The African People's Union. The founding members of the African People's Union have assembled in Pretoria to announce the creation of their new alliance. European observers were quick to note that the only government with any legitimacy present was the government of the Cape Commune itself. Moses Kotane, presiding over a motley assembly of self-appointed governments in exile and other revolutionary groups. The parties present released a joint declaration calling on the European imperial powers to release any lands they hold in Africa to its rightful owners at once, condemning the practice of colonialism and vowing to bring freedom to the oppressed African peoples by whatever goddamn fucking means necessary. First step on the journey to true liberty. I love this fucking line. This is good. I like it. So, let's liberate some Portuguese colonies, people. So in 70 days' time, shit's going to go down. And yeah, we'll wait. I was just about to take a break, but I'm going to end it on. I'm going to take my break on a cliffhanger. I'm going to wait till this fires, and then before we go into war, I'm going to go for a break. That's because if anybody's watching, you're going to stick around, see how badly I messed this shit up. So our planning, we've been sitting here on these plans for ages now. So our planning is going to be 100%. We are in the Grand Battle Plan land doctrine, so that's good. Decryption is done. Don't need that for another year, so let's get that. Improve our reinforcement rate. Pardon me. And another ability to change. Literally nobody I want to grab. So, this is the thing that's worth noting. So, is there anything actually... Ooh. You got new decisions. So, before I get on to this one, because I've never seen this before, this is you sometimes get economic policies pop up. So, region-wide industrial integration. This prerequisite any state has not already received an extra building slot from infrastructure. Fully controlled by us, owned by us, cannot build one more infrastructure. It basically adds a building slot to the Transvaal region. That's essentially it. Costs 100 political points, but if you have nothing to spend it on, it's worthwhile considering. But we've got these ones, right? Anti-colonialist crusade. Colonialism sits at the heart of the imperial system, blah blah blah. So we can liberate Angola, Mozambique, the Congo, Zimbabwe, and Kenya. The thing is, we need to own these countries, and then we can choose to let them go. But will we, though? Will we? I don't know. When you run out of these things, the national focuses, you can just do continuous focus, such as naval production, which gives a boost to dockyard, air production, construction engineering, so anything you're building in your country gets a boost. Army training, same thing, takes less time to train divisions. When you take over territory, it's not yours, people usually don't like it. So you get resistance. You want to combat that, focus on this. People tend to destroy stuff in war, so you can focus on repair, all that lovely stuff. La-di-da. The fate of Czechoslovakia. German troops have crossed into Bohemia and Moravia, ostensibly to restore order to the regions in the wake of the collapsing Czechoslovakian government. In Prague, the occupying forces announced the creation of an autonomous protectorate within the German Reich. With German support, Slovakia has been declared independent under the leadership of Josef Tiso. The nation of Czechoslovakia is no more. So let's actually take a wee look at the state of Europe. Zog submits to Italy. That's the Albanian issue, so Albania is now Italian. Czechoslovakia really has been torn in half. Prague is firmly within German territory. And we are about to get to liberate some Portuguese colonies. War is so much fun. Come on, come on. Bah! Okay. Available war goal. Let's declare war. Conquer focus. Cape Commune has declared war on Portugal. We're gonna set both these plans in motion, and I will be back after the break. And we are back. Forgot to load the game. That usually helps. And I love the band that's currently playing. So Sabaton do, obviously as you can hear, a bit of a metal band. But all their songs are based on historical events, wars, battles, groups of people. And the Paradox Interactive, creators of Hearts of Iron, decided, you know what, we're going to include some of their music. So it's it is DLC, you have to buy it. I bought it. So, yeah. I like when it actually appears. And it's kind of dramatic since we're actually going to war. So let's turn on speed 3. Let's set a national focus here first. The thing I was thinking about is, yes, we don't have to go through the liberate British colonies to get to the liberate Belgian colonies, because I am thinking we actually take on Belgium and all first before tackling the British, because I think if we take the Portuguese completely and then the Belgians, we can cut off all of the British here. So if we take this coastline, cut across here, any troops in here are going to get starved of resources really quickly, and yeah, they're going to die. So that'll be fun. But in terms of national focus, we're not going to do anything else yet in terms of this particular line of things. We are going to go back to other side of our stuff. Right, enough delaying things, let's start. And as suspected, we are winning straight away. Superior numbers alone is going to help us push back, and although the Portuguese are currently losing, I don't like that. But if we push these ones back, take a port, reduce their supply even more. We are not winning that one, but we are pushing here. We are already getting attrition due to just due to poor logistics and stuff. But having these mobile units, you know what? No, go in there. Let's get okay, you a unit move in there. So a wee bit of micromanaging to start off with. Let's get you to go in there. And you, I didn't want both of yous to go in there. I want one of yous to come back here. It just takes so long for any sort of travelling to be done in this damn game. So we're pushing back here quite easily. Details, that's the rubber processing done. We are at 39, so it's probably worthwhile getting that. Construction speed improved. So if we can get this around, yep, those guys will be crushed now in no time. And to be fair, that could be the only Portuguese forces that are currently here. So we'll leave them guys to continue their front. They've got their orders to push up there. I had a mistake in a YouTube Let's Play I did of Hearts of Iron recently, and I was Czechoslovakia at the time, so a lot of shit was going on, lots of battles, lots of, you know, minute micromanaging stuff, and I was at speed 5 the whole time, and a few people commented that, you know, it was too quick, should have been taking my time, and to be honest, if I took my time I probably wouldn't have lost as horrendously as I did. Unless I see something change. So details, we've got Logistics Company 2. We're going to wait to get our next national focus, which will give us a research bonus to one of these. Because if war breaks out and Belgium collapses, you know, quickly, then we're in a bit of a spot of bother. Portuguese have brought in reinforcements to this side, which is interesting. It's going to be a wee bit difficult to take this last port. Italy pursues closer bonds with Germany, and they've joined the Axis. Things are going down. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, so that's the non-aggression pact between Germany and the Soviet Union. So that means Germany's no, that's not what I want you to do. You attack that. You attack that. But the rest of yous get an offensive line here. Details. Right. We don't want that straight away. We're not ready for that. We are going to want... What are we still short of? 2 oil. We do have 2 synthetic factories, so that'll increase that, and that'll sort that out. We do have a lot of political power. So we could liberate Angola, and we could liberate Mozambique, but not sure I want to do that. Efficient emergency factory conversion, we don't need to do that. Region-wide industrial integration, building slot, land appropriation. Let's do that one. War support minus 2.5. We can't afford less war support right now. So this is going to take a while, but we should eventually win, unless the Portuguese keep pouring in troops, which could be a problem. I'm gonna go for that. I'm hoping the Portuguese situation over here will be dealt with soon enough. And you know what? You guys, you can have your orders deleted. That one. And you're going to get a push up to here. But with one horse unit, or cavalry I should say, going here. Is it another region there? And then you come back around. So that's going to take a while. So you are going to go back. You're going to halt your plans. So just entrench, regroup, and all that lovely stuff. The terrain here is just a bastard. Now we're getting attrition as well. Lovely. We're defending. It's okay. Holding off that defense. They're getting attrition as well, so that's fine. We get a wee bit of a plan back together. Should be okay to crush them in a while. It's just, are they going to get any reinforcements in here that's going to cause us any bother? Is there going to be any landings anywhere else in our territory that's going to cause us a headache? That's probably worthwhile considering deploying some more troops. So I'm going to say train another 6 divisions of them. And if we go into these guys, no, we don't want to train them. Edit these guys. You got the recon. Let's get logistics. Field hospital. Save. Train. And actually, let's edit these guys. Use me to get logistics support. And that. Oops. Logistics support company. Save. Let's minus another one of them. Location can be here. Location here. So that's a total of 5. That'll bring you up to 16. And then you also deploy to him. Okay. Activate that damn plan, you idiots. As soon as we can take soldiers off this front, we can swing them around and both reinforce this. Jeez, the Portuguese are pouring in troops. German Reich has declared war on Poland. Poland has joined the Allies. World War II's started. World tension's only 43%. So we nearly kicked the Portuguese out of this side. Why could you, like... Is it control click? Add. Get over there, you idiot. We now have 0 manpower. So on that case, let's go to... Why can't I get extensive conscription? I need more than 20% more support. Ugh. I can't even get this anymore. Let's get light aircraft. Really? You're getting pushed back? That seems a bit crazy. Did you lose men? No, we were on the Belgians, or the Portuguese. That's good. Liberate Belgian colonies is complete. So... I'm thinking if we go to that, we get army experience and plus 50% for a land doctrine, which is good. We could grab that. Could liberate them, but we're still not. Come on. Construction 3. I'm going to grab these now. We have missing equipment production. Fighters. Okay. Low manpower, I'm well aware of that. Right, so we cleared this side. What do we need for this one? We need the British stuff. That's annoying. So, you don't have any orders. I'm going to take your cavalry units, assign them to Simon over here. I'm going to take his entire army and just control-click that, just to make sure everybody's assigned. Available war goal, that is fine. So the rest of your army, I am going to get you to just garrison. I know you need 34 divisions, but you will get more people. Don't care about that. That. Coastline. Done. So if I do... let's make you go to him. They're just getting more and more troops in here. You know what? No, scrap your... I am going to want you to put a front line there with an offensive line for now here. Wait for you to get over. How am I going to cut these guys off? I'm going to want the rest of the troops that we're recruiting actually going to this guy. And I'll probably want all of these going to him as well. You know, the fast sort of cavalry units. Okay. That's the plan anyway. Right. New infantry equipment. Not ready for that yet. 50% bonus to that, which we do not need. It might be worthwhile putting some artillery in our units here. If I edit these guys and add in support artillery, combat width is still just 6. Supply use still isn't terrible. Let's see if that is fine. Might help us. Because they'll all get... We are short in support equipment, production... It's not good. Right, hold on. Research. Cancel. Did I? Free. Yeah, select our technology research. What was the missing equipment in production? Fighter, outdated equipment. Get better weapons now. Low manpower. Decisions available. So you have staff office plan. Fall of Warsaw. Poland did not stand a chance. Uncertain times. Oil processing complete. Germany's declared war on Luxembourg. They're not going to be long until they declare war on Belgium. Don't have the perk for that yet. May as well research that now since we're actually utilizing that technology. This occupies Eastern Poland. Luxembourg joins the Allies. So at the moment we're just going to have to pen these guys in. Belgium joins the Allies. Does that now mean that due to me delaying declaring war on Belgium, that we are going to have the Allies come in on Belgium's side? So if I declare war, potential this could get messy. But what else am I going to do? Because if this falls to the German Reich, then huh. I don't know. Is our army even in place yet? No. We're gonna risk it. See what happens. Once our units are in place, this is what we're gonna do. I'm going to take all of our... I didn't know that's what that would do. Thought double tap selected all the units at the same time. Anyway, I'm going to put him into that. I'm going to take your infantry units. And give them to him. So then select all your units, control click. Select all your units, control click, and so everybody's going where they should be going. Yes. So that means the infantry that has the artillery support is all focusing on that. Netherlands has capitulated, that's fine. Can I change that yet? I can once I have the political power. Good, 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 good. Once he's in position, Belgium has capitulated. Okay. You know what? You're going to go. You're going to declare war on Belgium for the lulz. If this ends horrendously, then so be it. Shit happens. Let's change that to extensive conscription. And go for it. Belgium is called Poland, Netherlands, Luxembourg, France, United Kingdom. Bollocks. Well, this could be fun. Oh, yeah, this is fun. South African Military College, that's going to come in handy. Don't need that now. What's that going to give us? Factory output, yeah, go for that. So in that case then, we're at war with you. Let's see. Can you enter this territory? Yes, you can. May as well try and grab territory here, because, you know, we're gonna die. Do we have another these division of these guys? You come here, here, here. Because why not? Portuguese are landing lots of troops there. We are so going to get absolutely demolished soon. Because the Brits are going to send around our navy, there's going to be naval landings, we're going to lose our actual industrial centre because our armies are off doing this shit. And yeah, it's going to be fun. Fun, fun, fun. France has capitulated. It's fine. Do we have any troops that we can get yet? No. Can you attack? Oh. I just saw that they had taken some troops out of there. Whoa, 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 whoa! Armistice between the German Reich and the French Third Republic has been saying that Copinya? Apologies for butchering that one. In the very railway carriage in which Germany surrendered in World War I. Not like repeating history. See you, go in there. See you, attack that. Sure, why not? Death of Rudolf Hess. Can I declare this fucking thing yet? No, we need one more region. Where's the naval? In South Africa. Shit. Five into a new army. Get down here. Shit, that's the Portuguese. We are screwed. Screwed, screwed, screwed. Absolutely fucking screwed. See? I'll use. You join that. Garrison. Here. Get you a commander. New commander. You're better than nobody. Oh, we are royally fucked. How many Brits have joined down there? Portuguese. I knew this was going to happen. It was a risk, like, but. How many troops have they landed? Portuguese are landing everywhere. Fall of Cairo. Denmark joins allies. German interest in Scandinavia. Denmark. United Kingdom is called Denmark and as their enemy. Blah blah blah. Lots of shit going down. Can I select a different army? Can you go? So we can free up some of these people. Get rid of the Portuguese there. Get people back down here to defend our goddamn territory. So we are losing a lot of shit here. See you. Yeah, you're going through there. That's fine. Can I use you to get a... Let's delete that order. Yes, go down. No. Can we hurry this up, please? Denmark has capitulated. Fine. Portugal has fucking landed more troops. Ireland? Oh, Iceland? Ireland. Right, you. I knew it was a risk. I knew this was probably what was going to happen. Just annoyed that it did. You just get a front line there. No, can we not have a front line that spans the entire goddamn map? What group are you? The pink one. Which one is over here? Okay, this one. How are we doing down here? We should be able to do some stuff once some troops get back. You are going to have half of your units, and then half of that again. Join him. Half your units can go to this guy, and the rest can set up a front line here with an offensive line there and execute. Do you need a commander? Not really, but let's hire one anyway. You know what might be a good idea? If we liberate Zimbabwe, Mozambique and Angola. Let's liberate Zimbabwe. It'll take about 6 months. If we liberate them, see what happens. That they've gotten so much territory. It's going to make taking this back very difficult. We should probably, you know, slow down at this stage. We've got some troops down. Split them up. And these are all attacking there. We should take that back. Details. Accept. Anything military wise that we can get that would be a massive boost to us right now. Equal opportunities is done. We could demand Madagascar. But no, we're going to go for a research slot because why not? Any use horse? No. I'm thinking one of you. Actually, see you. I still want you to do this. Because it's annoying that this exists in my territory. Because it is mine, no matter how bleak things look. That is mine. Mine, mine, mine. No, no, no. Go get attacking there. You attack there. Okay, or not. Oh, you're being attacked, so that's sucks for you. We're about to push back the British here. Portugal have reasserted themselves here, which is unfortunate. Purple guy. Your units are all over the place. Did you seriously not manage to take that? Right. Hold on. You stay there. You attack from there. You attack from there. Actually, all you just attack from there. Yeah, everything's a bit static right now. For the most part. Let's get better. It's just naval invasions and all that lovely stuff happening. Because New Zealand's getting in on the fray. Oh, for the love of fuck. I can't deal with this shit. There's always a risk. I made the mistake of not declaring war on Belgium before they had joined the Allies. Ugh. And then, due to the fact I'm messing about, I decided, you know what? Let's just have some lulls. Still can't get that because I'm losing. I've lost actually these regions, so. Oh my god, it's so irritating. This is a loss. This is a big fat loss. Because we're now getting encircled. You delete your orders. Come down there. Defensive line of that. These are just barely holding. You can retreat. Where's this, guys? What are you doing? Just go. Shit happens. Time to consider what I should have done differently. Probably a lot, to be fair. Well, to be honest, a small change in terms of... Why is this front split in two? I'm not going to activate you. That would just be weird right now. Where are your forces? Right, you're there. You're going there. You are all over the place. You're up there. You're going to get encircled, you dickhead. Where's the fallback line? No, you join him. Delete orders. Just delete all orders. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Split you in half. And let's go for this guy. You should actually be on that front. This offensive line there. Okay. We can just give up all this territory. you can go as soon as you can. We're going to lose these units. We don't have any manpower. Can't really increase it anymore, can we? We have extensive conscription. We could have a conscription by requirement. See how that impacts our manpower. So we can get some more units in the field. Not the look of that. Yeah, we get it. Dangerous naval invasions. I don't know. Oh no, the mistake was declaring war on Belgium. That's just it. The problem being, though, maybe it might have been better for a late game kind of stuff. Maybe try and do my own thing in the short term. I don't understand. Go in there and take shit. Both of these go in there. Now this is one big massive front. That's just great. How about... No. And then you do that and that. The other one here, do that and then that. Control you wherever your front was. Just, I don't know if there's some divisions not assigned or something. What the hell happened there? I accidentally pressed the Windows key. It's a different keyboard. Like, you can definitely go. If we can just sort out this problem, and then we can turn our attention back around. But the longer... What the hell? How are you letting them all through? That's just really weird and annoying. Anything in Africa is just... Book it takes forever. You know what? +5. We don't have long left of the stream. I'm getting a feeling that this game won't be continued at any point. So we'll just see how bad this gets. Yeah, you can go for your attack as well. Sure, why not? Look, we're actually making a push here. But if we clean up one area, then it's just going to be undone again when another naval invasion somewhere. Doing anything, and to be fair, I should have been maximizing any sort of potential to build extra stuff, but it is what it is. Yep. That's fine. Let's see, you have no orders now. I want you to set up a front. So we got the kit back, which means, you know, still not possible to capture everything because we've lost some of the territory that we had gained. I don't know. See, this is my problem. the day. There's no infrastructure there, no factories, none of that nonsense. Losing this territory is a big deal. Getting British troops going in behind us, not a great thing. Details, you may as well grab that. Makes much of a difference at this stage. National focus, I did that. Start outdated equipment. Maybe that. Let's grab that on the go. Not that we can make any. Modify government. Can't do that. If I do that, yeah, why not? Right. Just win. The grit. There's like 2 units here. Oh, there's 5 units there. That is an issue. Come on, people. Get that guy. You can. I know you can. I have faith. You attack there. Get the surround bonus. We're winning here. If we can just clean this up. Yes. Right. No. No. You need orders. Let's do that. Yeah. Ah, stop hitting the Windows button. That's a mistake. Can we give you back your commander? You know what? Let's promote him. It's Field Marshal. Fine. Well, let's create an army group. Army group 1. Field Marshal. That's fine. You can join that. It's 29 units. You're going to get this guy as a commander. We can't take all of those units, so let's take out 5? No, let's split it in half. And assign you a commander of this guy. He looks like somebody that's born in Dublin or something, like, to be honest. Right. You're going to get that as a front line. That as your target. You're going to get that as a front line. With that as your target. And yeah. Well, I made a mess of that. But it is only 1940. We are on the cusp of taking back our territory. We have expanded. We should probably consider constructing some things, because, you know, that should be happening as default. Not that that's going to last long. If I do that, and that. That's military factories. If I do that, that cancels the... Okay, and I actually want another one of these. The Soviets are... I shall accept your divisions. My communist allies should probably have joined Comintern. But yeah, I'm actually going to continue this and see if I can turn things around, because once we have this sorted, I'll rejig a few things in my military to create a sort of garrison divisions to protect our coastline. and we'll have sort of like a smaller, stronger army to do any sort of attacking, defending we need to do against the allies coming down the continent. And due to the fact that, you know, the bulk of their forces are going to be concentrated here, there's still territory to be gained here. Simple as. But that is going to have to wait till next time, because this stream is over. So please, 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 please go away until next time, folks. Good luck and goodbye.